Hello, everyone, and welcome to today's episode of the Butt Fumble Sports Show on this Thursday. So excited to talk some NFL with you as Week 2, hours away from kicking off in an AFC East divisional battle between the Dolphins, who host the Bills. Should be a good game between two 1-0 teams. Two teams, they might have been 1-0 on the records, but they're 0-1 against the spread. How is tonight going to go down? We'll give out some picks, some predictions, and of course we'll answer your questions. It sounds like Devon Achane is going to play for this game. We're going to keep our eyes open for any updates, though, across the Twitterverse. But as of right now, Achane is playing while Mostert is not. Look forward to talking some football with you guys, and of course, we'll be answering your fantasy football questions as well. Welcome everyone to the show. If you're new to Butt Fumble Sports, we are live across TikTok, YouTube, Twitch, Kick, almost every single day. We answer your sports betting questions, your fantasy football questions, and of course, we rant about what's going on in the sports world. Let's get to your questions right now. Appreciate all the kind words. Let's get to it. Corn Dog, trade Dobbins for to get DK. I actually think it's a good trade overall because I don't think Dobbins is going to put up the numbers he did consistently last week in future weeks. So I actually think you're flipping his short-term value for good long-term value in DK. Lucius, pick 3, Bijan, Henry, Mixon, Connor, Mason. Great question. I'm going to go with Henry, Mixon, and Connor. Just barely losing out on Bijan, and the only reason I'm not saying Mason, I don't know if McCaffrey's going to play or not. Coke White Tiger, Butt Fumble, kind of scared for Devontae. Should I hold on to him? I would trade him if you could. I thought he would have a better week in week 1. I'd trade him if you could. I'm not high on him season long. Lucas, Amon-Ra St. Brown will do better this week. Luperio, Ayuk, Deontay Johnson, or Jameson. Great question. I'll lean towards Ayuk just barely. Dallas, thanks so much for subscribing. Appreciate you, bud. JP, would you trade Swift for Dobbins? No, I wouldn't. I'd probably keep Swift. Drewski, Waddle or Stevenson? I'd go Waddle. I do like Waddle tonight. Landon Wilson, Coleman or Jerry Jeudy or Lazard in a 16? I'd go Coleman. Keon Coleman for tonight's matchup. Dallas Ogburn, Flex 1, Ford, Pollard, Tank Dell. I'm going to lean just slightly, I think, towards Ford. It's close between Ford and Pollard. I'll lean towards Pollard for the moment. Both got touchdowns. I'll go towards Pollard. Xander, I do like Kincaid to bounce back tonight. Think he does have a good game. Air Sasquatch, Wright or Wilson if Achane sits. This has been a major point of contention for a lot of people. I'm leaning towards Wright as of right now. Just barely, but it's very close. It depends on who you ask. There are a lot of fantasy people out there who think Wilson, plenty think Wright. I'll lean towards Wright, though. Any leans for the game? I'll bring out some picks in a little bit. Let's get those like buttons being pressed, and we'll give out a pick. Play Jameson or bench him this week. I do think he has a good week, actually. I'd play him. Long was here. Tua, Baker, or Justin Fields. I'll lean towards Baker. It's close between Tua and Baker. I'll lean towards Baker, though, just barely, I think. Jaden, Baker Mayfield, or Jared Goff. I'd go Jared Goff on that one. Zach, James Cook, or Connor. It's a great question. I think Connor is a safe play for a touchdown, but I'll go James Cook. I think he has the better game overall, but I think both are going to have decent weeks. Cody, is trading Garrett Wilson away for Ayuk and Pollard good or no? I think it's an okay trade because Ayuk, now that he's got the contract, he should be settled down and pretty safe there in San Fran. Kamara or Neighbors, great question. I'm going to lean just slightly, believe it or not, towards Neighbors. I actually think he has the better game because I think he breaks out, but I think Kamara is the safer play. Xander, JD or Burrow? Who's JD? Jaden Daniels? I'd go Jaden Daniels. Boone, start Keon tonight or questionable Neighbors? I'd lean maybe slightly towards Keon Coleman, though I do think Neighbors bounces back. Appreciate the questions. Hope everyone's having a great day. Matty Pups, standard format, Kincaid or likely I'd go Kincaid. Waddle or Cook? I'd probably lean towards Cook, but it's close. Christopher. Robinson or Ford? Is it Bijan or Brian? If it's Bijan, I'd go Robinson. If it's Brian, I'd still probably go Robinson. Ethan Ingram, trade Kirk and Mason for Zay Flowers. I don't know if you're getting enough value there because Mason all of a sudden looks like a better own. Quasmatic, Start DK or Godwin flexing Najee. I'd probably start both over playing Najee. Yo boy Alex, will Deontay Johnson be reliable at all this year? Probably only for a handful of weeks. Globo Jose, pick 2, Lazard, Singletary, Ridley, Cooks, Robinson. Which Robinson are we talking about here? Make sure you guys kind of give me some indication. Certain players with same last names. I probably lean towards, I don't know what the Robinson. It could be DeMarcus Robinson, so I don't really know. I'm going to move on. Ivan, start Achan, even if limited. Yes, I would. If he's a go tonight, I'd play him. But not for you, Jansen. I'd go Dobbins over Achan for you. Mike Guzman, Waddle or Rice. You also have Kelsey. Maybe I'd lean towards Waddle. I think Waddle does have a good game, and that way you're not over loading on the Chiefs for the week. Trade Worthy for Puka? No, I'd keep Worthy. Puka's going to be out at least 4 weeks. Don't like that trade at all. Rene Lopez, Kamara, Connor, or Debo at the flex. I'll go James Conner. Menendez, Kamara, or Etienne? Great question. I'll go Kamara just barely. I think the Browns defense bounces back. D-Gram, trade Amari Cooper for Rashee Rice. Absolutely, D-Gram. Make that trade right now. User 470, Ingram or Bowers? It's a really good question. I'll go... It's a tough one for me. I'm going to go Evan Ingram. I think the Ravens defense showed you how good they can be against the tight end position. I'll lean towards Ingram. If you have a question, throw it in the comment section. We'll get to as many as we can. We will take callers, but later on in the show. Click, pick 2, Dobbins, Eckler, Wright, Wilson if Achan is out, or Swift. I'll probably lean towards Dobbins and Swift. Nuve, DK, Dak, or Tua. I'll lean towards Tua for the moment. Menendez, White, or Mason. I'm going to go with Rashad White. I'm not quite sure the status of Christian McCaffrey. If McCaffrey is out, it's Mason. Schlock, do you think K9 is playing? Should I start Singletary or Dowdle if he's out? Start Singletary if he's out. Anthony Herrera, Moss, or Montgomery? I'd go Montgomery for sure. Sergeant, Pepper, Omaya. Risk it with Achan or go with Pollard. I'd be willing to go with Pollard if Achan is out. If Achan plays, I'd probably start him. Mason or Ford if McCaffrey's out. If McCaffrey's out, it has to be Mason. Christian Vasquez, which side? Amon-Ra and Kamara or CD and Rice? CD and Rice. Zach, Parkinson or Likely? I'm going to go with Parkinson. Bit of a risky play, but I think Parkinson's got the better options. In part because with no Puka Nacua, the targets have to go somewhere in the passing game. Happy Hour, Pitts or Andrews? Great question. I'm going to lean towards Kyle Pitts. I don't feel great about it because I think Andrews bounces back, but I'll go Kyle Pitts just because he's not splitting targets with another tight end of substance. Alex, Jones and Metcalf for Cook. So you're getting Aaron Jones and Metcalf for Cook. I don't know which side you're on. For the moment, I think I prefer the Jones and Metcalf side, though I do like Cook this year. Jay, kicker Sanders or Bates? Starting Allen tonight. Is Bates the kicker? Is Bates the kicker for the Lions? Because if he is, I much prefer him. Kicker for the Lions, I think that's Bates. If it is, that's who I prefer. I think he's the much better own. Lucas, I'd go Kincaid. Lucas Rathwell. Frank James, appreciate your support, bud. Would you trade Ayuk, Warren, and Bowers for McBride and Connor? The only reason I don't love that is you're overloading on the Arizona offense, and I don't feel great about that. I also think James Conner, maybe not season long, can sustain this value. I would say no to that trade. Masked Panda, if Kenneth Walker III doesn't play, I would go with Jalen Warren. I think barely over Zeke. I think I'd go Jalen Warren. Wingman, trade Diggs and Najee for Kyron and Spears. The answer is yes, because I'd rather own Kyron. Doc McLovin, thanks for resubscribing. Good to know the Doc is back in the building. Kai, I think. K-Hi. Dell, Brandon Cooks, or Wandale Robinson for the flex. I'm going to lean towards Brandon Cooks. Eugene, Mixon, Pacheco, or Mason, pick 2. If McCaffrey is playing, Mixon and Pacheco. If McCaffrey doesn't play, I'd still go Mixon and Pacheco. I think both are good plays. Harris, Pickens, Robinson, or Chuba. Tough one. I'm going to go Robinson, actually. I think he's got the best chance to pop. Jordan, Achan, or Waddle? Waddle for me. Waddle. Yo, boy, Alex, they just announced that Jake Ferguson is angling towards playing. That is crazy given the knee injury. I probably wouldn't play him. If you do own Jake Ferguson, the Cowboys tight end, I'd be a little bit cautious about playing him. Given the knee injury, I know they're saying he can play. I'd probably go with someone who is closer to 100% than he is. There's no way that dude's going to be healthy enough for me to feel confident. He could still have a good game. I just feel like there's too much risk of him getting banged up and ultimately missing a majority of that game or not being involved in the offense. Marco, who wins this trade? Amon-Ra St. Brown, Trey McBride, Josh Jacobs, or Tyreek, Connor, and Schultz? It's St. Brown, McBride, and Josh Jacobs. Marco, it's St. Brown, St. Brown, McBride, and Josh Jacobs. That's who wins that trade. Will Hilgess, Coleman, or McLaurin? I'm going to take the risk. I'm going to say Terry McLaurin bounces back. I'll go Terry McLaurin this week, and I hope he doesn't disappoint me again. Aaron, Worthy over Ridley despite having Kelsey? The answer is yes. For me, it's just because the pass defense of the Jets is so good. Ridley's going to be going up against Sauce Gardner. I want none of that. I'll take Worthy over Ridley. Luka Petraka, trade Dell, Waddle, Likely, and Spears for Mixon and Puka. I'm the Dell side. If you're getting Dell, Waddle, and Likely, I like it. I don't want Puka right now. I don't want anything to do with Puka. Jude, Achane, or Pollard? It's really tough. I'll lean towards Pollard because I don't know the stat. Achane's going to play, and that does make me a little cautious, but what I saw from the Jets' run defense, I'm willing to wait the couple of days and take Pollard. Do I feel great about it? No. I like Achane. This should be a better start for him, but I'm worried about that ankle. I'm especially worried about McDaniels maybe protecting him a little bit and putting in Jeff Wilson or Jalen Wright instead for a couple extra carries. Drizzy, would you trade Diggs and Henry for Jonathan Taylor? I don't think you're getting enough in that trade. I think you're falling short. I like the trade. Get a second player, even if it's small value in return for him. I just want another player. User, White and Hawkinson for Devontae and Ferguson. I think I'd rather have Devontae and Ferguson season long. Is Olave a start or a sit? I think he's closer to a sit right now. I think I'd play him for the most part if I don't have a better option, but if I did, I'd probably sit him. Lucas, Kamara or Dobbins to start at running back? I'd go J.K. Dobbins. Cody Meyerson, thoughts on Swift through the year? I think Swift's going to have a pretty good year, just knowing what his role is. Much like Mixon in Houston, as long as DeAndre Swift collects around a touchdown per game, he'll be a good own. I know that's not going to happen every week, but every other week, I feel like he could deliver that. Rene Lopez, trade Debo for Nico Collins. I'd actually be willing to make that trade. I think Nico's going to have a breakout year beyond already what he did last year. Page, Singletary, Allen, Jamison, Williams. I'm leaning towards Singletary slightly. It's close between him and Jamison. Very close. Click. Start 2. Wilson, Marvin Harrison Jr., Moore, or McLaurin. I'm going to go McLaurin, and I'm going to go DJ Moore. That's what I'll go with. Let's get some questions over here. Madison, Deontay, or Jacoby? I'll go Madison. Madison got more carries than expected. I think he could be a decent play this week just based on the number of carries he had from week 1. Yo, boy, Alex, prediction on the quarterback that will get the most points this week? No, I don't know. No, I don't know. D. Graham, what about trading Amari Cooper and Jaden Reed for Waddle and Brian Robinson? I don't love that trade. It's okay. If you need help at running back, D. Graham, I like it, but I like Jaden Reed. I wouldn't be quick to move on from him. Alfredo, Evan Ingram, or Likely, and should I sit Walker the third? If you have other options at running back, I would. Between Ingram and Likely, I'd lean towards Ingram, actually. I think he bounces back. Magana, 87. Waddle or Diggs? I'm going to lean towards Waddle just barely. I think Diggs could maybe catch a touchdown, but I think Waddle's going to get more fantasy points overall. Mike Collins, PPR, trade McCaffrey for Bijan. Believe it or not, I would do it. I would do it because I think Bijan will actually be on the field more this year than McCaffrey. Austin, start Tua or Achane tonight. Oh, start Tua and Achane. Probably would only start one of them. I don't want to overload on it just in case there's not a big offensive night. I'm not saying that's necessarily the case, but you want to be a bit careful there. Alfredo, thanks for subscribing. Zach, can I get your thoughts on James Cook over 2.5 receptions? I like that. One of the reasons I like that is actually because I think without Stephon Diggs, the ball is just distributed more across the offense overall. I think James Cook can get to 3 catches. Jude, who should I start? Singletary, Pickens, or Robinson? I'll lean towards Singletary. FBG, start Worthy, Neighbors, or Marvin Harrison Jr. I'll go Marvin Harrison Jr. in a bounce-back game, though I wish you could also start Worthy as well. Lev Dog, Wilson, or Rashee Rice? Man, that's a tough one for me. I'm going to go Rashee Rice. Garrett Wilson going up against Snead, probably the difference there. I'll go Rice over Wilson. Coleslaw, thoughts on Burrow, him or Carr for week 2? With no T. Higgins, if T. Higgins doesn't play, I'll go Derek Carr. I don't feel great about that option, honestly, but Joe Burrow, question marks on the offensive line. If there's no T. Higgins, I'll go Derek Carr. Caden, Kyron Williams, James Cook, or Kamara start 2. I'll start Cook and Kyron Williams. Caden, I'll start Cook and Kyron Williams. Josh, pick 2. Olave, likely in London. Josh, I'll go Olave and London. Olave and London. Andrew, trade for Jalen Wright. If you're not giving up too much, maybe. Comedy Craze OG, Dobbins or Keon Coleman? I'd go J.K. Dobbins. Comedy Craze, I'd go J.K. Dobbins. Aaron, Dak over Cousins, or do I drop Cousins for Fields? I'd go Dak over Cousins. Dak over Cousins. Rich, London or McLaurin? I'll go Terry McLaurin. I think he bounces back this week. I'll go Terry McLaurin. Anthony, Christian Kirk, or McConkey? Great question. I'll go McConkey, believe it or not. Peebles, 31. Pebbles, start St. Brown and Jameson. Don't love starting both of them. That's a big risk there. Let's get to Iman. Pick 3. Devontae, Godwin, Ayuk, Pittman Jr. I will go with Godwin, Ayuk, and I'll go Devontae, and Pittman will be the odd man out. Nuve DK, pick 2. Devontae, Higgins. It sounds like Higgins is out. Keon Coleman or Brandon Cooks? I'll go Devontae, and I'll lean just slightly, I think, towards Coleman. It's close between Coleman and Cooks. I think it's a coin flip there. Brent, start 2 running backs. Thanks, Kyle B6. Thanks for subscribing. Brent, start 2 running backs and 1 flex. I would go with Pollard, James Conner as the 2 running backs, and I'll go Flowers. And I'll go Flowers as the wide receiver in the flex spot. Jude, you like Tua over 6 rushing yards? I think so. I'm not betting it, but I think so. Elio, should I put Connor in or the running back that's playing today? I'd go James Conner. Trenton Elliott, I'd go Dobbins. Kyle B6. Robinson, Meyer, Singletary. I'd go Singletary. Kyle B6, I'd go Singletary just barely. Let's go Brady. Pick 2, Moore, Rice, or Smith. I will go with more Rice. Brendan Potter, I'll go Coleman. Tyler, Sutton or Zeke? That's a great question. For the moment, I'm leaning towards Zeke, I think. Sutton or Zeke? That's a great question. I'm going to go Zeke. I'm going Zeke. Doc McLovin, start, sit. I'd go Evan Ingram. I think Ingram bounces back. Sebastian, I'd go Kincaid. Marco, I'd go Andrews. I think Andrews bounces back. Appreciate the question, folks. Oh, sorry, Instagram. Was missing some of these questions. A lot of them, missed them. Thoughts on Guardians? I like the Guardians on the money line. Jesus, Tua, or Dak? Close. Very close. I'll lean maybe towards Tua. I don't feel great about that, though. Bot 88. I'll go McLaurin. Dill DYL Co. Pick 2. I'll go Worthy and McConkey. Believe it or not. 2, 8, and 2. Start Amari, Brian Thomas Jr. or Worthy this week. Because you have Rice, I'll go Amari Cooper. Because you already have the Chiefs covered. Frank, Jalen Wright over Christian Kirk? No, I'd go Christian Kirk. Brock Ford, I'd go Kyler Murray over Fields. Iman, I'd go Baker. Iman, I'll go Purdy. It's close. I'll go Purdy, though. I'll flip on it and I'll go Purdy. R. Lopez, Steelers defense or Ravens defense? You got to go Steelers. I like the Steelers. Christian Vasquez traded Swift for Pickens. Thoughts? I think you upgraded. If you need the wide receiver, it's good. Mark Gonzalez, I'm going to lean just slightly, believe it or not, towards Stafford. I know it's the lesser. I know he's missing a receiver, but I like that a little bit more. Drop Dad Gorgeous. Tyreek anytime touchdown. I do have that bet myself. Rich, Ford, MHJ, or Adams. I'm going to take MHJ. Alex 7, Robinson Jr. or Zach Moss. I'll go Brian Robinson Jr. Rizzy, Rize, DeMarcus Cooks, or George Pickens. Tough not to go with Pickens, but he's got a tough matchup against Surtain, so I'm going to actually go with DeMarcus Robinson. Click, I'd start Reed and Ayuk. Click, I take that back. Until I see Malik Willis, I'll go Olave and Ayuk. I really like Reed, but the quarterback situation has me a little nervous. Schultz for Ferguson. I would do the trade, Eric. Just be wary of that injury he's suffering. Keegan, I don't really want pinned tweets, so let's stop doing that. Sean, Wilson Jr. or Amari Cooper? Amari Cooper. Jordan Addison or Devontae Adams? I'd go Jordan Addison. Brandon, just make sure Christian McCaffrey is out. Cody, Zamir White or Madison? I'll go Zamir White. I know Madison got more carries than I thought last week, but I'll still go Zamir White. Man, so many questions. Appreciate it. Yo, it's Timmy Turner. One flex, Robinson Jr., Jameson, Ford, Worthy. I'm going to lean just slightly towards Brian Robinson Jr., thinking he gets a touchdown. Ryan, pick 2. I'll go Pollard, and I'll go Pollard and Hubbard. Click, okay, top 2. I'll go Stafford and Fields. I'll go Stafford and Fields, just because I think Fields gets the rushing yards. Coleslaw, I'd go Derek Carr. Coleslaw, Derek Carr. Cole or Reed? I'd go Cole, Keon Coleman. Gio, Jamo or McLaurin? I'd go McLaurin. Appreciate the question. Thoughts on D-Hop long-term? Eric Anderson, I am not high on him at all. Globo Jose, pick 2. I would go with Amari Cooper, and I'll go Worthy. Cooper and Worthy. Owen, I'd go Flowers. Owen, it's between Flowers and Ayuk, and it's very close. I might be willing to go Ayuk, but for the moment I'm leaning Flowers. Danny, it really depends on Christian McCaffrey. If Christian McCaffrey plays, I actually like Flowers more. If he doesn't, I think I like Ayuk more, because I don't think they'll use Mason in the passing game like they would McCaffrey. Danny, Najee Harris or Cook? Cook. King K, I'd go Andrews King K. EMC, I'd go Devontae Smith just barely over Ford. It's close, though. You know what, EMC? I'm going to flip on that, and I'm going to take Ford. I'll take Ford. Bill R, PPR pick 3. Bill, I'll go Scary Terry, Olave, and Jamar Chase. KCE, I'll go Kincaid. KCE, I'll go Kincaid. Frankie, do I start Wright over Ramondre? I wouldn't. I would start Ramondre. Ricky 4, I would go McLaurin. Eric Anderson, I would go McBride. D. Graham, I'd go Amari Cooper. Oh, instead of what about? I'd rather have Waddle and Brian Robinson. James, I'd rather start. James, that's a really tough one. Evan Ingram or Taysom Hill. I'll go Evan Ingram, but that's a tricky one because you never know what you're getting from Taysom Hill. This actually might be an interesting week to play him. Troy, Keon, or Pittman start. I'll go Keon Coleman, just barely. Cassandra, I got offered Mahomes and Ayuk for Goff and James Conner. I would rather have Mahomes and Ayuk. I'd do that trade. Bob Mace, Watson, BTJ, or Shaheed? Great question. For the moment, I'm leaning towards Shaheed, believe it or not. Gavin, trade Chase and Mostert for Achan and Collins? The answer is yes. The answer is I would. Dalton, I'll go Shakir over Coleman. Ricky, we do the best we can. Yo boy Alex, will ETN bounce back this week? Tough matchup against the Browns. I don't love it. Your Uncle Rum, start Cook or J.K. Dobbins. I'll say James Cook just barely. Very, very close, though. Start Burrow or Tua. I'm starting Tua. Tua over Burrow. Kincaid or Likely. I'd go Kincaid. Bot 88. Do I accept a trade giving up Rice for Likely and Jaden Reed? I don't think so. You're getting good value. It's a fair trade. I wouldn't do it, though. McConkey or McLaurin? I'd go McLaurin. McLaurin over McConkey. Zach, McLaurin over Cooper. Appreciate the question, guys. Hope you're having a wonderful day. Make sure you hit the follow button. Make sure you subscribe. Make sure you're a member of this community, Butt Fumble Sports. If you guys want to do some sports betting tonight, make sure you're taking advantage of the promos. A lot of sports books have promos going, anytime touchdown promos, game picks, Thursday night football promos. Go to my link tree. There's a link in my bio. If you haven't signed up for certain sports books, take advantage of their promos. Bet the money they're giving you rather than your own. So FanDuel, DraftKings, Underdog, BetMGM, hit the link in my bio. Butt Fumble Sports on TikTok, hit the link in my bio, and use the promos that you see there. Take advantage of it while you can. Liz, great to see you. I'd go McLaurin. Liz, McLaurin over Reed. Yo boy Alex, Myles Garrett has a foot injury and didn't practice. Thank you for letting us know. That will play an impact. If ETN scored that TD, everyone would say he's a RB1 must start. I don't know if we would say he's a must start against the Browns defense. Nuve DK, I'm going to lean towards Zeke, believe it or not. Just barely, because I think he gets a touchdown. User 89, Cooper, Reed, Wan'Dale Robinson. I'll go Amari Cooper, barely over Robinson. Caden, I'll go Waddle. B. Wheezy, trade Dobbins for McConkey, Neighbors, or Moss and Pittman? The answer is I would do the trade, yes. McConkey and Pittman would probably be the two for me. Love the running backs you have. Dax Durbin, ETN or Jeff Wilson? I'd probably go ETN. I don't trust Jeff Wilson enough. Keon Coleman or Jamison Williams? I'll go Jamison Williams on that one. But you're spamming like a mofo, so I definitely gotta mute you or something, because, don't spam. If you spam, I'm not gonna read your question anymore. Shakir or Keenan Allen? I'd go Shakir. You think Jalen Wright over DJ Moore or Godwin? Hell no. Don't think that's a good play at all. Click. Don't mean to question your judgment, but what was your reasoning for picking Moore and McLaurin? Guys, we're going so fast. I want to give you reasoning, but if I do that for everybody, we answer fewer questions and it's a slower show. So I gave you the reasoning because I've done my research, and that's the player I think is going to get more points. Kaylee, Marvin Harrison Jr. or Dell? Marvin Harrison Jr. Joey, James Cook over 61.5 rushing yards? I think so, yeah. I actually think Josh Allen passing yards may not be as high as people think, but James Cook might have the better one. Globo Jose, pick one. I'm going to lean towards one to... Hold on a second. Hold on 1 second, everybody. Oh, damn. I'd go Demarcus Robinson. Brent, hey, brother, hope you're doing well. One wide receiver. Man, I hate both of them. I'd go Pickens. Pickens over Ridley, though I hate both of them this week. C. Goots. Pick two. I'd go Ford and... C. Goots. I'll go Ford and Allen. C. Goots, I'll go Ford and... I don't like it. I'll go Ford and Jones, but I don't like it. I'm caught between Allen and Jones, but I'll go Jones. I just value the running back a little more. A. Celesio, would you sit Neighbors, Collins, Waddle, or Harris? Harris. I'd sit Harris. Fotana, start one at the tight end position. I'll lean towards Andrews just barely. Hope you guys are loving the show. Make sure you're hitting the follow button. Kreger, Dobbins, Mason, or Deontay. I'd go Mason if no McCaffrey. Otherwise, it's Dobbins. Jaden, start Worthy, Metcalf, or Dell. I'd go Worthy. Luca, I traded away Metcalf and Jaleel for Rice. I don't have a problem with it. Luke, Zargo, Achan, or Collins? I'll go Collins. Dirk Diggler, Coleman or Reed? I'll go Coleman. Danny Cortez, are we starting Achan? If you don't have any better options at running back, I think you're forced to. Eric Anderson, thoughts on Brian Thomas Jr. long term? Very high on him. Think he has a really good day. Paperclip, Robinson of Neighbors is hurt? Yes. Lanny 1, Team Cash and Tickets, you know it, buddy. Larkus, playing Kyron and Cup, not an issue. I'm okay stacking both. Gibbs or Montgomery? I like them both. I'll go Gibbs, but I like them both this week. Dilko, I'll go McConkey. I'll go McConkey just barely. Appreciate the question, Dilko. Landon Wilson, I'm forced to start Dalton Kincaid and Coleman. Is that okay? Yeah, I don't love it. It's risky. Lanny 1, Jordan Mason or Walker? Jordan Mason and no McCaffrey. Larkus, Pacheco or Evans? Man, I like them both. But I'll go Pacheco. You saw their run defense against the Patriots. Major Captain got offered Adams for Olave. I'd rather have Olave. I think that's the play. Brandon, Terry, Ramondre, Deontay. I'd go Scary Terry. Scotty Rocks, Dak or Tua. I'll go Tua just barely, but it's close. I think the lack of running game may actually impact and have him passing more. So then should I start Judy or Lazard? I'd go Lazard. Jordan, would you trade Likely and Keenan Allen for Marvin Harrison Jr.? Yeah, I actually would. Lucas, start only one at the flex. I'd go Collins. Thanks, John. Welcome to the team. JD, I'd go Kincaid. Hayden, Evans, and Eckler for CMC. I get CMC. Yeah, I'd probably do it. I'm not huge on it, but you're definitely getting an upgrade at running back, and it may be worth it if McCaffrey can stay healthy or get healthy. David, pick 2. I'd go James Cook and Montgomery. I'd go Cook because you can't wait to see if McCaffrey's going to play. I'd probably go with the safe play of Cook and Montgomery, though Mason looked so good last week. Rizworld, I'd go Drake London. Carson, I'd go Pollard. Carson, I'll take that back. I'll go Ramondre, though I don't think he'll have as good a week this week as he did last week. John, I'd go McConkey. I'll go McConkey. Eric Anderson, trade McCaffrey and Coleman for CD and Robinson. Yeah, I'd probably do it. Start Etienne or Jordan Mason. Jordan Mason if there's no McCaffrey. Ruse Rip, I'd go Flowers over Adams. Thanks, Tucker. Howdy to you. Alex, howdy to you, Tucker. Thanks so much. Alex, trade Adams, Bauer for Evan Ingram. No, you're giving up way too much. Dom, if I have Richardson as Hurts and Adams for CD a good trade? Yes, it is. Esteban, if Achan is out, start Wilson or Wright? I'd start Wright. D-Gram, I'd go Amari Cooper. D-Gram, Amari Cooper. A. Celesio, Neighbors and Pickens on the bench, but Thomas and Brandon Cooks. Frey, should I take one? I don't know. I'm not crazy about Neighbors. His value's dropping with Daniel Jones. Luca, pick 2, please. I'd go Flowers and Dobbins. Okay, we've been going for about a 40 minutes straight. Let's get some callers. Let's see what some callers want to talk about. Let's go to Daddy Alex. Daddy Alex is going to be our first caller of the show. Daddy Alex, what's good? Daddy Alex, you there?
Can you hear me?
Yeah, now I can. What's good?
Hey man, how you doing? So I just you accept betting questions?
What's that?
You accept betting questions?
Sure, of course.
Okay, yeah. So last week it was like my first time betting.
Mm-hmm.
I had a parlay and like I hit all of them except for one, and it was a CD receiving touchdown. Man, it hurt me so badly.
Alex, before you ask your question, here's a tip for you. Do you know what round robins are?
No, I don't.
Okay, when you go to what sports book did you use?
So I'm using Sleeper.
Okay, I don't know if Sleeper has this option. If you want to try DraftKings or FanDuel, there's a link in my bio. I highly recommend signing up for them. But hear me out first. I know for a fact those two have a round robin option. What round robin is you can place a bet, and if you say you have 5 legs and 4 of them hit, you can do a round robin where it places bets of 2, bets of 3, bets of 4. It does cost more, obviously, because you got to place the bets. But I actually do that with all of my parlays. I'll do that one leg that's 5, but then I'll do the round robin. And what it does is it bunches your bets into pairs of 2, groups of 3, groups of 4, and so on. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah, no, that actually sounds convenient.
It really is, especially for what you're talking about, which is like, if you feel like these are 5 bets that I love, well, do the round robin, because if 4 cash and 1 goes bust, you'll still cash on a lot of tickets. So it's about your confidence level, but I would highly recommend that. And again, use the promo codes that are in my link tree, because that'll save you some money and get you some advantages if you sign up for their sportsbook.
Got it. All right. Yeah, so I actually just made one.
Mm-hmm.
It's a 54 5K. So I'm just wondering if everything sounds good to you. All right.
Fire away.
All right. So I said Amon-Ra for 1 receiving touchdown. Derrick Henry for 1 rushing touchdown. Taylor for 1 rushing. ETN for any. Breeze for any. Cooper Kupp for any. Ken Walker for any. And CD for 1 receiving.
Funny enough, I think it's really good overall, but again, I think this is like a classic round robin, because there are 2 or 3 in there that I'm like, ooh, that's tough. Amon-Ra St. Brown, I'm a little nervous about. I think when it comes to the red zone, he's not as popular a target as he used to be, because the running game is so good. So that one I'm a little nervous about. I'm not going to lie. He could hit it, but I'm a little nervous. And then there was another one that you mentioned that had me nervous. Oh, Kenneth Walker. Patriots defense is better than people think. I could see him getting a rushing touchdown. Again, I'm not saying it's a bad play by any means, but it's like that's one that sounds better on paper than it may look on Sunday. So what I would say is, if you like the bet, I actually think you've got pretty good plays in there. I would just make some round robins. Yeah, it's going to cost you more, but you'll get a better return, especially if you have 1 go bust.
All right. Okay. Yeah. All right. That sounds good. Thank you so much for the advice. I'll make sure I do that.
Anything else we can help you with?
No. I actually, like, if I were to like replace one, like who would you add in there, like, instead of like Kenny Walker?
I wouldn't go necessarily to that game, but Joe Mixon anytime touchdown. Did you have that one?
Oh, no. That actually does sound good, though.
I feel like that's a good one. He's playing the Bears on Sunday night. The Bears are a good defense, but I also feel like in the red zone, that's where Mixon's going to get opportunities. I think between the 20s, the Texans will throw the ball a lot, but I feel like there are opportunities for Mixon to score a touchdown.
Right. Yeah, and I was a little sketched about ETN as well, but I saw that Myles Garrett does have like a foot injury, so like I don't know if he's going to be playing.
Well, I like your play of any kind of touchdown. I really like that one, because I could see him getting a swing pass in the flat and taking it in for a touchdown. He gets utilized in the red zone. He gets utilized in the passing game more than people think.
Yeah. All right. Well, thank you so much for your time.
Have a good one, Daddy Alex. Let's get to another caller. Let's get to Bike versus Stupid. Let's see if Bike versus Stupid brings a smart question, or if they're biking today. What's good, Bike?
Hey, what's going on?
How you living?
So I was wondering,
Oh, you cut out. Repeat the question.
should I start Khalil Shakir, Javonte Williams, Alexander Madison, Tank Bigsby, or Alan Lazard?
I'm going to lean towards Shakir, just barely. It's close between him and Lazard for me, but I'm going to lean towards Shakir.
All right, thank you.
Have a great night.
You too.
Let's see. Let's get Nas. Nas wants to join the line. Let's see, Nas. We got a lot of callers, so forgive me if you're waiting patiently. Let's see what Nas wants to talk about. Nas, you're getting spinning wheel of death. I don't know if you're going to get on. Nas, you there?
Hello?
What's good? Nas, you there?
Hello?
Are you there?
Hello? Hey, what's...
Okay, you got a bad connection? Call us back, okay? You got a bad connection, so we're getting a lot of feedback and other things. Let's go to, who's our next call? I believe it's Adam. Adam's going to be the next one on the line. Adam, what's good?
What's going on?
How can we help you today?
So I was just trying to see what I could do with my team here. I have Lamar for my starter. I have Saquon, RB1. RB2 is Kenneth Walker. Then my wide receiver 1 is Devontae Smith. Well, wide receiver 2. Wide receiver 1 is Marvin Harrison. My tight end is Laporta. Defense is, I think, Jets. And then I have Butker for a kicker.
I mean, I really like the team. Like, I just think that last week you had a couple guys who maybe laid an egg and you thought they would have a better performance. But other than that, I think this is a pretty good team. I think this is a team that will make the playoffs.
Yeah, most definitely. Well, the thing was, I actually traded away. I traded away CMC. I traded away Burrow.
Wow.
And maybe should have waited a little bit on Cup. I did that, and I traded away Andrews.
Wow. Well, you made a lot of moves, and some of them were really smart. So I like the team you built post trades.
Most definitely, yeah. Because I traded Burrow, Andrews, CMC, and Cup, which was kind of rough. But I mean, I'm just thinking like.
Other than Cup, you made the right moves. So whatever you're seeing, Adam, in the crystal ball, you're seeing the right things.
Oh yeah, I just need to trade for a wide receiver. I feel maybe a wide receiver 1 because I don't know how I feel about.
I'm not thrilled with the comments that have come out of Arizona the last couple of days. I wish Kyler Murray understood the deal a little bit more. He's acting like it's the offensive coordinator's role to get his wide receiver 1 the football, and it's like, no, it's not actually quarterback. It's your job, but we'll see. Hopefully he matures a little bit, and hopefully that relationship develops over the next few weeks.
Most definitely. I appreciate it.
All right, man. You have a good one. Let's get to our next caller. Our next caller is going to be Brandon. Brandon's one of our subscribers. Appreciate all of our subscribers. Brandon for Beers, what's good?
Hey, how's it going?
How you living?
I'm living good. How are you?
Couldn't be better. How can I help you?
So I'm going to ask you the same question I asked you week 1. Starting Stevenson, Chase Brown, Ezekiel Elliott. Obviously, I started Chase Brown.
And it was a total bust, and I'm so sorry about that because Ramondre Stevenson and Zeke ended up having better days, so we were a total miss on that.
Do you think Chase Brown is going to have a better week 2?
Here's the thing. What you'll learn from watching the show is I'm not going to make the same mistake twice. That doesn't mean I don't make a new mistake. That's possible. I can make 2 new mistakes back-to-back weeks. I won't make the same mistake twice. Until I see Chase Brown start to develop in that Bengals offense, and until that offense, especially the offensive line, performs better, I'm just not going to play him. He needs to prove it to me now. I was too optimistic. He needs to prove it. The guy who kind of proved it to me last week was Zeke Elliott. Look, Ramondre Stevenson obviously had a really good week as well. If you want to ride Ramondre, I'm cool with that. Zeke is the one that kind of impressed me because he all of a sudden looks like the RB1 of that Dallas Cowboys team. Surprised me. I'd still probably go with Stevenson this week just barely because he's solidified himself as the focal point of the Patriots offense, but I think it's close between those two now.
Okay, I appreciate that.
You have a great one, Brandon.
Yep, you as well.
Let's get to our next caller. Our next caller is going to be John. John's one of our favorites. John comes on quite a bit. Let's see what John's question is today. John, what's good?
Just living life here, honestly. How you doing today?
Oh, loving life. How can we help you?
All right. So now after waiver wires, so I surprisingly got Alan Lazard, and even this morning was still able to grab Shaheed.
Wow.
Which surprised the fuck out of me.
Yeah, that's a good. Those are 2 good pickups.
I was like, whoa. And Madison as the running back.
Mm-hmm.
And Parkinson in the tight end area.
Wow, what a haul.
So, I'm the king at waiver wire. Every year I've surpassed everybody in our league in waiver wire pickups. They actually clown on me for it. But, so I did a draft that basically did an auto draft, basically, somehow. And on my flex, Devontae Adams, Waddle, Singletary, or Kenneth Walker the third.
I'd go Waddle.
Waddle?
Yep.
Okay, and Stafford and Prescott.
I'm going to say Stafford just barely, but it's close.
Yeah, they're both projected damn near the same amount of points.
The only reason I feel like Arizona's defense might be worse than the Saints. That's the only reason I say that.
Right. Okay, well, you answered my question earlier in the trend of McConkey over Neighbors. Now, is that still riding with having Lazard and Shaheed and Madison?
I still think I like McConkey the most out of that group.
Huh?
I still think I like McConkey the most out of that group.
Okay. I was just making sure, since, you know what I mean, these guys are all sitting on my bench, but still, I just wanted to, I couldn't text all of that in your trend on TikTok.
I got you.
To try to help you understand that. So I'm glad you went to callers.
All good.
One last question.
Sure.
Before you go on to the next person. If you've got one upset this week, straight up, no points, no nothing, just picking a upset. Can I tell you mine and you tell me what you think?
Go for it.
Indy.
As in Green Bay wins?
No, Green Bay loses.
But I think Green Bay's the underdog.
Is they?
I could check that really quick. The Colts are the favorite. So to your thinking, it would be the Packers winning.
Okay, so that may not be the one.
I'll give you one. I'll give you one, and I'm super nervous about it because I don't want people to run with it too much. But if there was one true underdog right now that I could see winning outright, it's the New England Patriots. And why? They're at home. They're playing a Seattle Seahawks team that has to fly cross country. And let's be honest, if the Patriots do what they did last week, is run the ball successfully, play good defense, win the turnover battle, that's just winning football. It's not special, but from like pee-wees to high school to college to the NFL, if you just run the ball successfully, play good defense, and win the turnover battle, you'll win almost every time, and that's their formula. So obviously I'll give out some NFL picks later this weekend,
right.
But if I had one like right now true underdog that could pull off the upset, the Patriots at home against a West Coast team flying to the East Coast. Keep in mind that Seattle, a West Coast team playing at 1 p.m. on the East Coast. So that is that early body game. That's that 10 a.m. West Coast body game. I don't know. I feel like the Patriots could win that outright and shock everybody by starting 2-0. Am I telling you to bet that right now? No.
No.
You get what I'm saying. If you're asking for one that's like...
It's just a pick a team.
Right. If you were like, Butt Fumble Sports, tell me one that like wouldn't shock you. That wouldn't shock me at all. A lot of other games, an upset would shock me, yes. But that one, nah.
Does Washington shock you to win?
That Washington winning or Washington losing, either way wouldn't shock me. If you told me that the Giants came back and won, I wouldn't be shocked. And if you told me the Giants suck and the Commanders won, I wouldn't be shocked. I think that's a game that literally is like flip a coin. Flip a coin. Could go either way.
All right.
I think the Commanders win. I think the Commanders win because Jaden Daniels is going to be the best player on the field. But I'm also keenly aware of when we see a team play really bad in week one like the Giants did, we act like it's college. And like, oh, I guess that team just gives up. Those are people's jobs. Like,
exactly.
There are 53, there are probably 70, 80, 100 people who have a job that are reliant on that team winning. They're not going to lose the way they did last week and then go, oh, I guess our season's over. No, you come back out with fight. It's one of the reasons we love the NFL, because the pendulum swings, because jobs are won and lost every single week.
Okay, my bad. So, one more. You think the Lions beat Tampa Bay?
Yeah, the Lions beat Tampa Bay, and the real question is, do they cover the spread? This opened at 6.5. It's now to 7.5. It opened at 6 actually, and now it's 7.5. make sure you're getting it at the earlier line. Make sure you're getting it at like 6 or 5.5. I actually think the Bucks could keep this within a touchdown, but I think the Lions are going to win this game on the money line.
So I play this thing called Pick'ems in fantasy sports.
Sure.
You know what? You know about that?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Right now, I think Tampa Bay is like 10% picked, and of course, the Lions are.
Yeah, no, I think the Lions are going to win. I think the Lions are going to win. The Lions are the better team. They're at home. And I also think the Lions did not actually show us their best game in week 1. They showed us a good game, but they didn't show us their best, and I think that they're going to be even better in week 2. I'd stick with them.
Gotcha. My man.
All right, John.
Let's get some other callers, brother. I appreciate you. Have a good night, and let's go some football tonight.
Yeah, can't wait. Talk to you later, John. Let's go to Chef Roy's Juice. Let's go to Chef Roy. Let's see what Chef wants to talk about today. Sorry, Mush Mush. John's one of our favorites. Chef, what's good?
Yo, what's good, Butt Fumble?
How you living?
You know I'm living large. How you doing?
Clearly, talking to Butt Fumble Sports on the bed. That is living large. That's life at its best.
It's nice over here. Yeah, I'm in my hotel room here in Providence, Rhode Island.
Providence, Rhode Island, home of Brown and the mob. So, yeah.
Yeah, I'm right here. I'm doing a trade show for a medical show, and I'm right here by Brown's campus, actually.
Very, very cool.
So, wanted to run some start sits by you going into the week, just looking to get a leg up here on my opponents. So, I got a flex option between Brian Thomas Jr. And Scary Terry and Ladd McConkey.
Okay, this is a tough one for me because this is a classic case of what did we learn from week 1, and is it going to change our thinking entirely? I'm gonna go back to Scary Terry. He disappointed me last week. I thought he performed better. He didn't. I actually think the alarm bells went off across Washington and that fan base, and everyone's now like, why wasn't Terry McLaurin more involved? Like, why didn't he? And I think they'll hear that. I think he's gonna have a bounce back week. They're playing a Giants team that's awful. I'll say Scary Terry out of that group. Okay. What's tricky is, again, the only thing that's holding me back is Ladd McConkey looked good last week, and he's playing against the Panthers team.
Like, how many targets and catches did that kid get last week?
To me, it wasn't even about that. He got a ton, but actually what I loved most is he was on the field for almost all the snaps in that game, and that's a huge one for me. Targets are important, as you know, I talk about that a lot, but just being on the field, like I think he was on the field for something like 86% of their snaps, like overall offense. That's a lot for a rookie. So I'm very high on him. I'm just going to push the brakes on it a little bit and say that the Panthers are bad, but I think Scary Terry bounces back. I'll go Scary Terry, but it's close.
Scary Terry's currently my active start in that. We got to stick to our guys that, even when they let us down, you got to sometimes stick with them.
I actually am a big believer in that strategy for the first few weeks of the season because you don't want to draft these guys, have one bad week, and be like, I'm going to go against everything I planned, and then have another loss because
they go crazy. Yeah.
Stick with the horse until you know it's worth shooting.
All right, so jump into another league here. I have a running back situation. I have drafted Javonte Williams, but I'm questioning starting him, Jalen Warren, or Tajay Spears. I'm a Steelers fan, so I'm biased. I want to give Warren a chance.
I'd go with Warren. I wouldn't start Williams. That Steelers defense is good. That Steelers defense is good. If people aren't paying attention, or if they just red zoned that Steelers-Falcons game and all they saw was TJ Watt wrecking shit and field goals, that's how good the Steelers are. They don't need an offense. That's how good their defense is, and they're playing against Bo Nix this week. I would not want any part of the Denver Broncos offense, and I think Jalen Warren, again, the only issue I have with Warren with Justin Fields playing is some of those Justin Fields rushing yards should be Jalen Warren, but that's my only concern.
Yeah, okay. I think we were on the same page on that.
And I'm not big enough on Spears. Pollard's the clear RB1 on that team, and even if Pollard has a good week, I don't think the Jets are going to get punked twice. Like, even if Pollard has a good week, I don't think he's going to have I don't think the Jets defense gets run over twice. The Tennessee offensive line is not the 49ers offensive line.
No, I think I look at Spears as more of a handcuff with a high ceiling.
That's right. That's exactly right.
So okay, that answers that. And I had Warren, so I'm gonna keep that in the flex. I think you're right. I'm a Steelers fan. I can't be rooting for Javonte Williams to light it up against me. That would make no sense.
An emotional hedge.
Exactly, emotional hedge. Sometimes you have to think with your heart, not your head. So into my running backs for tonight in this other league, I have Devon A-Chain right now. Do we have an update on him?
He's going to play. He's going to play.
All right. So if Devon A-Chain's playing, there's literally no questions we ask. I'm just going to plug and play him and then not even worry about it. He's a beast. I think that was it for me. I'm excited for the game tonight. I'm going to take a look into this Buffalo offense. I think there's a lot to learn from this wide receiving core in terms of who's going to be that guy. I'm kind of hoping it's going to end up being Khalil Shakur, but I could see how Keon Coleman could really end up being that guy.
This is a really interesting game for me because Josh Allen historically has torched the Dolphins. For those that don't know, this is one of the best trends in football right now. Josh Allen has never played against the Dolphins and thrown fewer than 2 touchdowns. He has at least 2 passing touchdowns in every game he's ever played against the Miami Dolphins. That's
follow that up. Who are you going to tonight?
But see, this is my point. What's crazy about that trend is really about the weapons he's had in the past. It could continue tonight, but then it's okay. Who's catching them? Dalton Kincaid, Keon Coleman, Shakir. I think we're going to learn a lot tonight about who this Bills team wants to be. Are they going to be James Cook first? Or are they going to be Josh Allen throwing first? Is Josh Allen going to be Mr. MVP this year, and is he going to run and throw just and be Mr. Crazy Man? Or are we going to see kind of a more balanced offense where every once in a while play breaks down and Josh Allen runs? I think we'll probably see Josh Allen Crazy Man MVP style, but I think tonight is the first real... Week 1... That's just getting back on the field. That's just like tonight for me is like the first night of this is the Bills I should expect from here on out, and I think we're going to learn a lot.
Yeah, I would have to agree. Last question here before I let you go. I picked up Isaiah Likely off of waivers on a team that I had Jake Ferguson on because I wasn't sure how serious that injury was going to be. And now I have the Isaiah Likely plugged in as my tight end for this week. After seeing how he was utilized in that offense, is that a confident start, or are we a little bit hesitant on the Isaiah Likely train?
So because you have Jake Ferguson as the other one, I'm okay starting Likely this week. Jake Ferguson, it sounds like, could actually play this week, which is freaking crazy. It's like stupid. Like, football players are not built like us normal humans. They are aliens.
No.
Like, that's so ridiculous. So I wouldn't play Jake Ferguson because he's one hit away from not finishing that game. So I don't like that. So I would play Likely this week. I also think week 1 was a bit of an outlier. I think that is probably as good a game as Likely will have all year. I do think it encourages that offense to include him more and to target him more. But let's also, if you've watched the show throughout the week, I keep saying, let's give the Chiefs defense some credit. That's a really smart Chiefs defense. They wanted to take Andrews away. They didn't allow Mark Andrews to beat them. I don't think other teams will be able to do that. I think Mark Andrews will bounce back, which means Likely comes back down to earth a little bit. Again, for this week, I'm probably okay with it because I don't like Jake Ferguson. But if Jake Ferguson were healthy, I would be starting Jake Ferguson.
Yeah, I would have to agree. The only other tight ends that are available that are even worth asking about would be like Parkinson and Taysom Hill, which I don't think I'm going to jump off.
So what's really interesting. One, Taysom Hill is like... He is Russian roulette every week. Either you're blowing yourself in the head, or it's like the greatest decision of all time. So you can't win either way. And with Parkinson, I'm actually very high on him. Very high on him. And the reason for that is that's not going to be a 1-week thing. With Puka Nacua gone for at least a month, Matthew Stafford's got to throw it somewhere, and it can't be Cooper Kupp every time. And they have a history of throwing to the tight end position in that offense. It used to be Tyler Higbee. So I actually kind of like Parkinson's upside more over the next month than I do Likely. And that is one where if I were in your position, maybe you don't want to make a roster move when you already have Likely. Like, that is a bird in the hand versus 2 in the bush. But for those out there, I really like Parkinson because a lot of what historically McVay in that offense, it lends itself to believe he could be a really good addition to a team from the waiver wire.
Yeah, I would have to agree. I think that the Puka being out is kind of the key factor.
It is the key factor. If Puka was still there, I wouldn't feel the same way.
Yeah, I just read that Mostert's out tonight too. I've just kept up on all my news. So
no, Mostert's out, I believe, with a chest injury, and Achan, he was a game time decision. But Achan went on his social media account and actually posted, not that he's playing, but he posted his own like promo poster of, like how NBC will put like Josh Allen and Tua Tagovailoa, and it's like the NBC logo. He made one where he's all the players. So I get the vibe he's playing. I don't think you put out your own like promo tweet if you're not playing in the game.
No, he's definitely playing. He's playing, and I think I'm going to touch anytime score for him. I don't want to do rushing because you never know where.
See, you have a different strategy than I do, which is if I'm using him in fantasy, I'm already risking him enough. I would bet on other players. Like, this is hedging. Like, no, I wouldn't bet on him because if he has a shit game, I didn't just lose fantasy. I just lost my money in the bet. Why would I do that? You already have money on him.
Back up, I'm going to Khalil Shakur. He's getting in.
Right, like go with some other players. Like that's exactly what I would do. Now you're thinking like I'd go Tyreek Hill anytime touchdown. I'd go like Waddle, or I'd go with other. If you're thinking Dolphins score, and but again, that's hedging. I'm not going to tell you your betting business in that if you want to double down.
I appreciate the advice. You don't want all my eggs in one basket. You're looking out.
That's what I'm trying to avoid.
All right, man. Well, I appreciate you. Have a great rest of your show. Enjoy, man.
All right, you enjoy the game tonight. We'll talk soon. Let's get to our next caller. Let's go to George. Appreciate you guys waiting patiently on the calls. It's wonderful to be able to talk to you guys, but I know it takes a little bit. Let's get to George. Let's see what George wants to talk about once the spinning wheel of death gets him connected. Come on, George. Come on, George. George, you got a bad connection, so call us back. Try again. Sorry about that, George. Bad connection. Let's go to Keegan. Let's see what Keegan wants to talk about. Keegan, what's good?
Yo, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can. How can I help you?
What's up, man? I'll keep it nice and quick for you. Originally I was gonna ask about some underdog stuff, but I do have an option for flex here. So my team actually kind of fell apart. I was looking really good, and I had Njoku, Nakua, and CMC, and now we're
dude. You are the kiss of death. Like, don't come near me, dude. Like, don't put me on your fantasy team. I'll end up with an injury, man.
Oh man, tell me about it. And so anyway, but I've kind of like I've come back a little bit. I got CMC on the injury reserve, and so I picked up the second back, which looked really good when I watched him play. I just don't know how that's going to affect their carries. If CMC were to come back, I don't want to start one or the other, and I hope the other gets 5 touchdowns.
Christian McCaffrey keeps talking like he's healthy enough to go. I feel like the 49ers are going to be uber conservative and safe with him, so I feel like Mason's a good play this week, but you're definitely going to be waiting until Sunday and Adam Schefter giving you confirmation on that.
Okay, and then so I got for flex I got Montgomery and Pickens.
Oh, Montgomery by a mile. Pickens has a really tough matchup against Patrick Surtain II, arguably the best corner in the NFL. It's not even close on that one, Montgomery.
Really?
Yep.
I did not know that.
Yep, by a mile.
Are you saying, are we saying like, I don't know how much you can talk about betting if that's like allowed, but I mean,
I can talk betting. We talk betting all the time. Go for it.
Are we saying the under on that man's yards then, or
on George Pickens?
Yeah, I don't know what his line is.
See, I don't know what his line is either. And Keegan, the one caution I would say, sometimes we make certain assumptions like, oh, he's going to have a bad game. Well, the sports books know that too. Like, the sports books aren't stupid. Yeah. So there are a lot of factors, and they may put his total yards lower and things like that. But the overall answer is I don't think he's going to have a very good game, no. If you do an underdog and you're looking at like over-under on fantasy points, I would lean towards the under on his fantasy points if that's your question. By the way, Pat Sox 26, does he talk sports betting? Does a fish swim? Pat Sox 26, I love it, man. You just went off TikTok, so you're muted. I can't hear you. I'm going to get some other callers while you're disconnected. Sorry about that. Let's go to Felix Blood. Felix is going to be the next one on the line. Just want to keep the callers going since we've got so many people waiting on hold. Felix, what's good?
What's up, man? What's up?
How you living, buddy?
Really good. I just want to always give you a shout out, bro, from now on, because you truly are probably one of the best contents on fantasy football, man.
Very, very kind of you, Felix. Appreciate it. How can we help you today?
So I got some tight end questions. I couldn't pick any good tight ends in the draft. I ended up with Dallas Goedert. And how are we feeling about him or Jawan Johnson or that Parkinson's dude from the Rams? What do you think? The three.
So it's funny you bring up this question because I actually had the same issue in one of my leagues that you did, which is I didn't value the tight end position that much. I waited on it later in the draft, and I ended up I lost out on a lot of the tight ends I wanted. Dallas Goedert ended up falling to me, and I took him because I was desperate. I wasn't crazy about it. I don't feel great about him because he's in that Eagles offense, and there are so many mouths to feed. So what did I do this week? I picked up Colby Parkinson on that same team, and I'm going to start Parkinson over him, actually. So that very question you're asking, I actually am living that scenario. I like Parkinson more. I mentioned it with our last caller. The reason for that, one, no Puka Nacua. Those targets have to go somewhere. Tight end position's a good place for them to go. And two, that offense is tight end friendly. It has been in the past with Tyler Higbee. I trust that Parkinson can fill that role. And finally, Arizona Cardinals, they played really well against the tight end position last week against Dalton Kincaid, but last year they struggled against it, so I'll go Parkinson this week.
You see what I mean? You just consistently give us good advice, man. I also got another question about DJ Moore or Xavier Worthy.
It's a really tough one. I'm going to go DJ Moore. He's the wide receiver one on that team, and with Roma Dunze potentially out, I do think Moore gets even more opportunities. Tough part is that's a good offense. That's a very good offense in the Houston Texans. I do like Moore, but the only reason I'm not saying Worthy, I like him. He performed so well in week one, though, that I feel like it's a bit above his ceiling. I think he comes back down to earth a little bit and doesn't score 2 touchdowns. So I'll go DJ Moore.
Okay. Thank you so much, man.
Felix, you have a great day.
You too, bro. Later.
If you guys want to join the show as a guest, I know a bunch of you guys are asking. You can hit us up as a guest. I think you have to have 1,000 followers on TikTok. Their rule, not mine. I'd let everybody join if I could. More than happy to let people who are on Instagram join as well. We had difficulty with that earlier, though. If you want to join, I'm willing to give it a try, though. Anyways, let's get to another caller. Let's get to... We got a lot of people waiting. Let's get to JAD. Let's see what Jad wants to talk about. JAD, what's good?
What's up, man? Can you hear me?
Yes, I can.
Hi, how are you? So I just had a couple sit-start questions. So to start, at my flex, I got either Jameson Williams or Keon Coleman.
I'll go Jameson Williams just barely.
Okay. And then another one, I heard you talking highly about Parkinson. I was wondering if I should go Parkinson or Bowers.
Sorry. On Instagram, I went live with you, but I didn't mean to. Sorry about that. I was going to answer your question on fantasy, but you didn't come on right away, so my bad. Okay. This dude's looking at me on Instagram like, what the hell, bro? I need to figure out how to go live on Instagram with people. Anyways, what was your question again? I got distracted.
Oh, yeah, no, you're good. I heard you talking about Parkinson. He's on. I could go grab him right now and start him over Bowers, but I'm not. Is that a good play?
I like it, but I think it's close. I don't have a great sense of it. They're two kind of newer players and newer on their teams. I like it personally, but I don't want to give you false impression that I'm highly confident in it. I feel like it's a good play. I'd probably do it myself, but I'm certainly on the fence.
Got you. And then my last question. So I have CMC, and with him possibly, which I'm hearing he's probably not going to play this week.
I'm pretty thin at RB. I don't have much depth, and I have terrible options. But I mean, it's a 10-man. But I have Singletary or Swift, which I don't really know.
Between the two, I'd probably go Singletary just because I like the matchup more against the Commanders. But I think they're going to have kind of similar days, unfortunately.
Got you. Anyway, sorry. Actually, I have one more. I apologize.
Sure.
Should I do Josh Jacobs and Marvin Harrison for Jonathan Taylor?
I don't think you're getting enough in that trade. I think right now that looks fair. I think once the season kind of gets into full swing, I don't think it looks as fair. And so what I would say is if you're really desperate right now to upgrade the running back position, fine. But I would ask for a second player from their side, even if it's a throw-in, just to make it a bit more fair.
Okay, got you. Yeah. All right. Thanks very much. Appreciate it.
Appreciate you. You have a great day. Let's get to some more callers. Let's get to Charlie. Let's see what Charlie wants to talk about. Charlie, what's good?
Yo, can you hear me?
I can. How can I help you?
Brother, I'm just trying to figure out who I should start as a flex this week due to basically it's between Jamison Williams and Jalen Wright tonight.
I'd go Jamison Williams. I don't trust Wright enough. There's just too many questions there. Achan sounds like he's playing. Like, even if he does get a majority of the carries, we haven't seen Jalen Wright before, so, like, we don't really know. So there's just too many mystery variables in there for me to trust him, given that you have another option that I feel is good enough to play instead.
Okay, so even if Achan is not activated tonight...
If Achan is out, like, if Achan's out, and we know that, then I feel differently. Yeah. But I think Achan's going to play. I feel like, you get what I'm saying? Like, it would take literally a last-minute tweet from Adam Schefter to be like, he's out, for me to then be like, even then I'd be like, I'd be reconsidering it. I don't know if it would be an automatic start for Wright, though.
Okay. So you're leaning more towards JMO?
Yeah, I am.
Okay, sweet. That's all, brother.
Awesome. You have a great night.
You too.
Let's get to another caller. Next one's going to be Shady Esco. Let's see what Shady wants to talk about.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Let's go, Shady. How you living?
I'm doing good, man. I'm at work, but I'm about to get off in like 5-10 minutes. But I have a question. Who should I start at for my wide receivers? I got St. Brown, Waddle, DJ Moore, DK Metcalf, and I got Keon Coleman. Who do I start?
How many do I get to start?
3.
St. Brown for sure. Waddle for sure. And who are the other two? DK and who?
DK, DJ, and Keon Coleman, the rookie.
DK, DJ, and so DJ Moore?
Yes.
DJ Moore. He would be the third.
Oh, okay. You feel that confident with Caleb against Houston's defense?
It's a combination of this. One, Roma Dunze may be out, which is going to lend itself to DJ Moore getting more opportunities. I could see that game being a bit of a shootout with both offenses going down the field. I think Caleb Williams looked bad week 1. I think he'll play better week 2. And finally, the big one actually is for me, between the Patriots and the Houston Texans, Texans may have a better overall defense. I think the Patriots have the better shutdown corner. Christian Gonzalez is a stud. I don't know if people are paying attention because it's New England and obviously they're just not like star power and they're not as sexy as they used to be. Christian Gonzalez has shut down Stephon Diggs, Justin Jefferson, Tyreek Hill, Jamar Chase. He is in a short career. That dude has looked like lockdown. So I'm fading DK Metcalf this week.
Okay. Well, I appreciate it, brother.
You have a great night.
You too.
Shady Esco is one of my favorites. I hope he wins this week. I'm not going to lie. Let's go to Jaden. Let's see what Jaden wants to talk about. Jaden's going to be next on the line. Thanks for the gifts, by the way, everyone. Jaden, what's good?
What's going on, boss? How you doing?
Oh, loving life. How can I help you?
Yes, sir. I just had a question at the flex. Would you go Worthy, Jamison Williams, or Brian Robinson?
That's a tricky one for me. I think I'm going to go Worthy. It's close between Worthy and Jamison Williams. Very close. I'll go Worthy just barely. Hollywood Brown being out is part of that. It means Worthy's the solid wide receiver too. And what's really keeping me away from Jameson is the combination of Jahmyr Gibbs and David Montgomery makes that running game so attractive. Amon-Ra St. Brown didn't have a good week 1. I think he bounces back in week 2. I just feel Worthy's a little bit better this week.
Okay, thank you. I appreciate that. And then also, I have Aaron Jones playing, but the matchup isn't too great.
It's not.
I was just curious on your thoughts of maybe putting in Singletary or Austin Eckler. I know Eckler's not the one.
No, I'd go Singletary, believe it or not. No, I agree with you. Singletary against the Commanders, I like more. Does it get me excited? No, but I think you're thinking the right thoughts, which is we just saw the 49ers run defense shut down Breece Hall. Like, we just saw that. So I'm kind of in agreement with you. I don't love it, but I lean towards Singletary.
Okay, cool. And then one more, I apologize. I have Najee, and I'm not too big on Najee just with Fields.
Me neither, dog. Me neither.
But I don't really have much depth. You think maybe picking up a guy like Jaleel McLaughlin on waivers?
Is Bucky Irving of the Tampa Bay Buccaneers available? Because
you know what, I would have to check.
He's someone who, funny enough, he could be this year's Rachaad White, which is someone who comes out of nowhere and ends up having a big year. Look out for him. So I think Jaleel is an okay idea. Keep your eye on Bucky Irving.
But both over Najee, right?
So I'm not big on Najee, and I have to warn you, I have a bit of a bias against Najee, and my knock on him is always like, what does he do well? Like, he's not that big, he's not that fast, he's not that strong. Like, what does he do well? And the fact that Jalen Warren is in there, and even more so now, Justin Fields and his rushing ability takes away even more opportunities for Najee. And I just don't see the value of him. Like, I know he has a good week like every 4th week, but I just don't believe in him enough. So I'm letting you know that's my bias, and if you want to fade my advice, I totally get it, but I'm just not into Najee myself.
No worries. Hey, man, I appreciate it. Big fan of the show.
Thanks, man. You have a great night. Enjoy the game this evening. Let's go to our next caller. It's going to be a subscriber. Let's go to Diego. Diego's next up on the line. Diego, what's good?
What's good?
How you living?
Good, and you?
Oh, couldn't be better. How can I help you?
I need help with my lineup. I always complicate myself sometimes.
It's okay.
But at running back, I don't know who to start. A-Chain, Pacheco, Montgomery, or Jordan Mason.
I'd go Montgomery and Pacheco, and probably Mason would be the flex.
Okay. And then wideout, I got St. Brown, Wilson, Garrett Wilson, Drake London, Jaden Waddle.
I'd go Waddle and Brown. Waddle and Brown.
Okay. And I just picked up Brock Bowers just because of Ferguson.
Yeah, I'd start Bowers over Ferguson.
Bowers.
Yep.
And then quarterback, I have Stafford and Goff, but
Jared Goff.
Jared Goff. Okay. And then last one. I have the Texans defense, but there's the Seahawks, Commanders, Colts, Broncos, Chiefs, and Patriots in free agency.
I would take the Seahawks. I think that the Patriots offense outperformed last week, and I think the Seahawks defense looked pretty good. So I'd take Seahawks. But yeah, I think there are a couple defenses that could be a good play.
Oh yeah, all right. Thank you, brother.
That's how we do it. Have a great night.
All right, you too.
That's why he's a subscriber, because we're going to help him out, give him everything he needs. Let's go to Bilbo Swaggins. Bilbo Swaggins, pretty loyal viewer. If I'm not mistaken, Bilbo Swaggins has been watching us for a while. Isn't that right, Bilbo?
Yeah, what's going on, man?
How long you been watching the show?
About 3 years.
I was going to say, I feel like you were around when we first started the channel, man.
Yeah, it's been a while.
Oh, you even got a kid in the background? Man, okay, let's get you. Let's get some help for that fantasy owner.
Okay, man, I got 2 questions. Who do I need to start this week? I kind of did a trade, and I got rid of ETN, and I kind of gave up a little bit because I had a tight end situation, but in the trade, I got rid of Travis Etienne, Jalen Waddle, and Xavier Worthy. But in the trade, I got Sam Laporta and Garrett Wilson.
Oof.
Yeah, but I was kind of in a bind, but...
I don't know if you got the better of that one. There's a lot of star power in that trade. I'll say this. That's a fun trade because there's a lot going on, but I don't know if you got the better of it.
Well, and like I said, David Njoku went down, and the best tight end that was on our waivers. I mean, our fantasy is crazy, but the best tight end was Cole Kmet. So
I get it. You really wanted to upgrade the tight end position. I understand. How can we help you for this week though?
The running backs I had on my bench. Who do I need to start this week? Ramondre Stevenson or Jerome Ford?
That's a tough one. I'm going to say Stevenson, even while I just said in the previous caller that I like the Seahawks defense. I'm going to say Stevenson, and here's the reason why. The Patriots use him so much that I think he's just going to get a lot of opportunities. I don't love the matchup. I think I think the Seahawks defense is pretty good, but I'll go Stevenson just barely over Ford because I think he'll just get more opportunities with the ball, which just means more opportunities for points.
I got you. Okay. Well, that's really what I was worried about. Because, I mean, I have a good team. I got Lamar Jackson, and if you say Ramondre Stevenson, I have James Cook, Amon-Ra, Cooper Kupp.
Oh, this is a good team. Yeah, this is a good team. Yeah, very much so.
I'm getting Laporta and Garrett Wilson.
No, this is a very, very strong team. So I think overall, this is an A- team. I mean, now that you filled up those tight end spot, I understand it a little bit more now. You have enough depth at the other positions, though running back now becomes a place of vulnerability. So just keep your eye out on the waiver wire for a running back over the next few weeks.
I got you. Okay, I appreciate it.
For example, like, for the future, the next Jordan Mason, whoever that guy is, you need to be getting him because that guy is going to make your season. That guy who was a backup who becomes an RB1, you need to claim him because that will fill the one gap you have on this team and make you almost unstoppable.
Okay. Well, I appreciate it.
All right, man. Enjoy the game tonight.
Oh, yeah. You too.
Let's go to our next caller. It's going to be John. Let's see what John wants to talk about. By the way, thanks for being patient on the line. We have right now 40 people on hold for calls, so clearly the call line is working and people are enjoying it. We'll go to our next one, though. John, what's good?
What's going on, my man?
How you living?
I'm good.
I love how this kid says my man like he's fucking 40, and meanwhile, I mean, this kid is clearly pre-drinking age. Anyways, John, how can I help you today?
So, I don't have, like, I know I'm dealing with, like, 8-chain, because I don't know if he's going to play tonight, which I'm nervous about.
He's going to play.
He's going to play?
He is.
Okay, perfect. All right, but I'm trying to still get rid of Tank, Dell, and Waddle, so who do you think I could trade them for? Like, who are good guys to get? Because I need, like, some running backs.
So, John, I will say this is actually one of our rules on the show is we don't do these kinds of open-ended questions because there's so many things I don't know that it's a bit of a waste of time. But what I would say is I would trade Dell. I wouldn't trade Waddle. And it's all about what position do you need to upgrade. Again, reasons I don't answer these questions too often is because a lot of things I don't know. But look at, one, what positions do you need to improve? And two, look at the teams that need a wide receiver and what do they have in terms of depth? Like if they need a wide receiver, do they have too many running backs? Do they have too many tight ends? Like what could they even trade? So it becomes more about negotiating and deal making than even about fantasy football. So that's one of the reasons I kind of skipped that question.
Yeah, that's fine. Do you think James Conner will be good this year?
I think James Conner, for the weeks he's healthy and consistent, will be a great own. My concern is as the season goes along, he's an older player. I think there will be some wear and tear and breakdown. So through the first 8 to 10 weeks, I actually think he's like a lock-it-in RB2 flex at the worst. But as the season gets deeper, longer into like late November, December, I might be concerned about him able to stay healthy.
Yeah, and do you think Monty's the same way, or you think...
Not as much. James Conner is older, I feel, and the Lions' offensive line is the best in the NFL, so I don't feel the same about Montgomery. The difference is James Conner is the RB1 on the Cardinals. Meanwhile, Montgomery is splitting touches with Jahmyr Gibbs. That could just take away some of his overall production.
Yeah, I got that.
Okay.
All right.
Be good,
There are
John.
a lot of people that need to go, so I'll let them get their shine, but I'm always checking in, you know.
I appreciate it, John. You have a great night, buddy. We'll get to another caller right now. Let's go to Pablito. Pablito is next on the line. My favorite Colombian right here. Let's go to Pablito. Pablito, ¿qué pasa?
Hey, I got a question here. I got 3 players I just not too sure about. I got Tank Dell and Xavier Worthy.
I'd go Worthy.
Worthy with that. Josh Jacobs right now is questionable. I'm not sure if he's gonna play or not. And Dobbins.
Oh, I'd go J.K. Dobbins.
J.K. Dobbins. Okay. And then I also do have Mayfield and Tua. I was leaning a little bit more towards Mayfield.
I think both are good plays. I think they're going to put up similar points. I'll go Mayfield, but I don't know. I feel like it's a coin flip. It's like if it rains in Miami, maybe that means throwing's a little bit worse. But the running game's injured, which may mean they have to throw more. I'm on the fence. I think that's a coin flip.
Yes, sir. One more thing. What do you think about the Bears' offense and Caleb Williams as well? I mean, they struggled last game. Caleb Williams does not seem...
I think Caleb Williams has a better week this week. I think the Texans win, giving out a NFL pick for the weekend. I think the Texans win, but I think Caleb Williams has a better game.
Okay. All right.
Cool.
Awesome.
All right, Pablito.
Appreciate it. Thank you.
Enjoy your evening. Let's go to our next caller. Let's go to Dominic. Dominic's next on the line. Forgive us, we still have 20 people waiting on hold. We'll get to as many as we can. Dominic, what's good?
Hey, how's it going?
Loving life. How can I help you?
Awesome. I was conflicted between playing. This is for my flex position in my 12-man league. I'm conflicted between playing Keon Coleman tonight or save it for Brian Thomas.
I'd go Keon Coleman. It's a really tough one for me, but I'd go Coleman, and the reason for that is I trust the Browns defense, and it's a tough matchup for Brian Thomas Jr. I really like him, but I'll go Coleman. I don't feel great about it, but it's one of those, like, you're asking about 2 rookies in week 2, so we're kind of reaching in the dark here and hoping we grab the right thing, but for the moment, I'm leaning towards Coleman, just barely.
Yeah, I'm hoping something happens good tonight for Coleman. So
I'm really hoping he gets a touchdown. If he gets you a touchdown, he'll be worth the start. So
awesome. And you think the Steelers should ride with Justin Fields for the rest of the season, or what?
I do, but that's because I think Russell Wilson is totally cooked. And beyond that, he's not just cooked. He's got an ego. Like, there are certain quarterbacks who, like, fall off the hill and they kind of learn the new world order where they're not the man anymore, and thus they kind of learn their role. Someone needs to tell Russell Wilson that, like, your shit stinks, dude. It's not just that you're not, like, Hall of Fame worthy. It's that you're this close to being out of the league and you still act like you're the man. And, you know, we talk a lot in sports. You can... there's a great line. Do you know Bull Durham? You know that movie?
Yeah, good movie.
When you are a 20-game winner in the show, you can have fungus on your shower shoes. Until then, you're just a slob. Russell Wilson's the reverse of that. When you're winning 10 games a year, you can be weird and everyone's like, oh, he's quirky. Oh, he's competitive. Oh, he's like a psycho. When you're losing or you suck at playing and you do weird shit, we just call you a weirdo. And Russell Wilson's a weirdo. So, I think his antics I'm tired of it. And 2, Justin Fields is athletically more gifted and creates more offensively for the Steelers. What he opens up in the running game will help in the passing game, which will help with field positioning, which will help the Steelers win. I'd go Justin Fields. Not a question.
You couldn't have said it better, man. That's, Steelers fan over here, so... I mean, dude, he's the future for sure.
I'm going to say one thing to a real Steelers fan, though. Mike Tomlin is keeping this team from winning a Super Bowl. It's the most unpopular thing to say to a Steelers fan, but Mike Tomlin's pursuit of a winning record every year means you guys are just good enough to not get a good draft pick and just bad enough to not be able to compete with the the Chiefs of the world.
Yeah, that's what
And
I'm
so you're
saying.
caught in this AFC purgatory, which is like you'll never be bad enough to get a top 3 pick, and you'll never be good enough to win a Super Bowl. So, like, great. Mike Tomlin keeps his winning streak, but the Steelers don't get a 7th Super Bowl.
Man, I've been saying that, dude. I expected us to be higher in the draft. but
Someone
like
needs to
you
get
said,
with Mike
just-
Tomlin and say, look, you literally need to shit or get off the pot. You either need to be the shit or you need to take a shit. But either way, the Steelers need a generational quarterback. They need the next Big Ben, and they don't have it. And he could be in the draft next year. It could be a Quinn Ewers. It could be a Shedeur Sanders. But the problem is, this team's too good defensively. They're not going to lose that many games. You saw it in Atlanta. The team's too good.
Yeah, crazy. TJ is everywhere. But thanks, man. I don't want to hold you up too long.
We'll see you, Dominic. Enjoy your evening.
All right.
Let's go to Garrett. Garrett's going to be our next caller on the line as we plow through the calls. Garrett, what's good?
Hey, how are we doing today, man?
Love and life. How can I help you?
Hey, man, I've got a quick question. Nothing crazy, really. I'm looking at Drake London here. Obviously, they don't play till Monday.
Yep.
But I don't know. What is your stock take on Drake London and some Falcons players right
I think
now?
he bounces back. A couple of things. One, week 1 is now like the new preseason because none of the starters get any time in August. So I'm not surprised that we saw the Falcons not play well. That was their first time really being together, and certainly at like live game speed. Second of all, it's a brand new offense. Not just a brand new coaching staff and new offense. You also have a new quarterback who's got to learn the offense. So a lot of new things. And the third piece was the Steelers are a top 5 defense. Steelers are a really good defense. So I'm not going to overreact to what I saw Monday night. The Eagles' defense is good. It's not as good as Pittsburgh, especially at the cornerback position. I think that Drake London has a better game. Not a great game, but a better game. And I think progressively he gets better as the season goes along.
Okay, that's a good take on that. And I'm looking here at Chase Brown. I mean, he's not a running back, like an RB1 for me because I've got Kamara and Kyron.
Mm-hmm.
But is Chase Brown, maybe, do you want to use,
Yep, here's my take on Chase Brown. I thought he was going to perform better week 1. He didn't, but I'm not overly concerned about it. He's the more talented running back in the Bengals backfield. He's got more speed. He can do more in the passing game. It may take a little while for him to ultimately take that number 1 spot from Zach Moss. I think he eventually will. Frankly, I think Chase Brown's a better own and stash on the bench right now. And really, it's a question of would you rather drop him for someone on the waivers who might have more short-term value, or can you hold him, wait for his value to come up, and then you don't have to go to the waivers. You have him waiting for you on the bench. Because I think by week 6, I think he'll be valuable.
Okay, I see what you're saying, because I'm doing exactly what you said.
Let's put it this way. They play the Giants in week 6. That's where his value really takes off. They play the Commanders week 3, the Panthers week 4, Ravens week 5, and Giants week 6. So I like him as a start, probably in at least 2 of those 3. But to me, it's more, he's going to get more opportunities, hopefully impresses more, and that just lends himself to being on the field more.
Yeah, they definitely, it sounds like they got some softballs coming up. So I was maybe thinking about using him and Christian Kirk maybe as meal tickets, you know what I'm saying?
Oh,
Trying to
if you wanted to package the 2 together for a trade, I'd certainly endorse that. Yep.
Okay, that sounds good. I appreciate everything. Again, enjoy watching you, man.
All right, Garrett, you have a great night.
Yeah, man.
Let's get to our next caller. Our next caller is going to be Ricardo Sanchez. He dropped on us, so Ricardo went bye-bye. Alvaro is going to be next on the line. Let's see what Alvaro wants to talk about. Alvaro, what's good?
I just had one question.
Sure.
I just wanted to talk about it.
What did you want to talk about? You went off TikTok. When you go off TikTok, you mute yourself. I can't hear you.
My fault.
No problem. Repeat the question.
So I traded Rasheed and Kamara for Amon-Ra. Do you think that was a good trade?
Rasheed Rice and Kamara for Amon-Ra St. Brown?
Yes.
It's okay. I don't love it. I don't hate it. it's somewhere in the middle. It's somewhere in the middle. It depends what the rest of your team is. I love Amon-Ra St. Brown. You gave up 2 good players, so you gave up 2. You only got 1 back, but I love the 1 back. It depends on the rest of the team. So I don't hate it. I don't love it. I'm kind of on the fence about it.
So do you want to? Right now I have Jaden Daniels at QB, Bijan, Pacheco, CD, and Amon-Ra, and Devon Achane.
Oh, you're a loaded squad. Love the trade now. It's a great team.
Yeah, and one more thing. Should I start Devon Achane if he plays? If he's
Who are your other options?
Chris Godwin and Brian Robinson.
I'd go Godwin.
Godwin?
Yep. Godwin would be the one.
Okay. That was all, honestly.
All right, Alvaro. Catch you later, bud. Appreciate it. Let's go to Aaron. Aaron Flowers is going to be our next caller on the line. Let's see what Aaron wants to talk about. Aaron, what's good?
What's up, Butt Fumble?
How you doing?
I'm great. I need a little advice.
Sure.
I've got Josh Allen, and I've also got Dak Prescott. Now, Josh Allen is not playing at home, so I'm
But Josh Allen has put up crazy great numbers against the Dolphins historically. For all those that are watching, Josh Allen has never thrown for fewer than 2 touchdowns against the Dolphins, so he's had at least 2 passing touchdowns in every game he's played against the Dolphins. I'll take Josh Allen.
Okay, that's all I need to know. I appreciate your help.
All right, Aaron, you have a great night.
Thanks, my mommy.
All right, that was the cutest thing I've ever heard. Let's go to DJ Khaled Asparagus. DJ Khaled Asparagus. DJ, what's good?
Hey, what's up?
We the best.
Yeah. So I'm in a little bit of a dilemma. My team is I've Kyler Murray, Breece Hall, James Conner, James Cook. Then I have for my wide receivers I have Cooper Kupp, Garrett Wilson, Nico Collins, Deebo Samuel, and Rashee Rice.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm thinking if you were gonna trade like 1 to 2 of those receivers, which ones would it be?
Same again.
Garrett Wilson, Cooper Kupp, Deebo Samuel, Rashee Rice, and what was the other one? Rashee Rice and Nico Collins.
I'd trade Deebo first, and probably Nico would be the next one. But I actually really like your receivers, and I wouldn't change too much. But Deebo would be the one I would trade.
Okay. And should I buy low on Evan Ingram?
Yes. Great call.
Okay, got it. And then one more thing. So I have a friend in my league. He's trying to he's trying to get rid of Jonathan Taylor. Would Nico Collins and James Cook be a good trade for him?
I think you're giving up too much.
Too much? Okay. Would Deebo Samuel and James Cook be a good trade for him?
Again, I think you're giving up too much because James Cook's better than you're valuing him. I think you have the right idea, but I think you're giving up a little bit too much. That said, if the other owner is like kind of playing hardball, Deebo and Cook is a fair trade. Again, a fair trade for him. You're maybe not getting as much value, but if you rather have JT than Cook, I'm okay with it.
Okay, got it. Thank you.
All right, DJ Khaled, you have a great night. Let's get to our next caller. Let's go to James Hiller. James is going to be the next on the line. See what James wants to talk about. James, what's good?
Hey, how are you?
How you doing?
Good. So I've got a trade proposal. They're asking for me to trade Brandon Ayuk, and I receive Devontae Adams.
I'd rather have Ayuk. Don't do the deal.
That's what I was thinking too. I thought that the upside would be higher on Brandon.
I'd rather have Ayuk, for sure.
All right, perfect. Thank you.
Have a good one, James. Let's go to our next caller. Let's go to Egu. E-G-U-U-U. Egu, I think. Egu, what's good?
Hey, what's up, man?
How you living?
Living good. How about yourself?
Oh, I couldn't be better. How can I help you?
I got a couple questions for you today. So, I kind of hit the panic button early, and I traded CMC for Saquon, but I'm running back deep in that league. I have Kamara and HN.
Yeah, you got a good squad.
So, all right, that was one. You think I panicked a little too hard or not?
Trading McCaffrey?
For Saquon.
Not at all. Not at all. Not at all.
Saquon was the.
No, I like it.
The guy offered me it, and I feel like
the only thing I don't like about it is I would have asked for Saquon plus another piece just to see if I could have gotten a little bit more value. But I think Saquon's going to miss time this year. I was saying that even before Week 1. I just thought last year he was too healthy. He's got too great a track record of injuries, and last year he had he had too much luck when it came to injuries. I think McCaffrey will play closer to 12 games this year. Now, Saquon's got the same bad injury history. The difference for me, I think this year is a year where he could break out and stay healthy, as opposed to McCaffrey, who I think is going to be hurt.
Line, right?
Yeah, exactly.
The line is kind of different.
Is
I feel like Saquon's in that tier of CMC because they're both on super teams.
Because they have amazing offensive lines. And what's our number one rule when drafting a running back? Focus on who's got a great offensive line in front of them. Yep.
Okay, so that's one. Another thing, how do you feel about Pittman and Pollard for Devontae?
Are you selling Devontae, or is someone selling you Devontae?
I'm selling Pittman and Pollard.
I'm just not that high on Devontae Adams. Like, what should I be? He's got Gardner Minshew throwing him the ball. He should have had a better game against the Chargers. If he's not putting up 100 yards or 85 yards against the Chargers, a team he should play better against, like, who is he torching? Like, I don't know, man. Like, who's got the better quarterback? Pittman's got the better quarterback. Who plays in a dome? They both play in a dome. Who plays against easier competition? I don't know. The AFC South feels like a worse collection of defenses. Maybe not, but I don't know.
So here's the thing, and that's the same league where I traded. I'm running back deep in that league. So my receiver 1 and 2 was Marvin Harrison and Pittman.
Yeah, I'm okay with those. Like, if you wanna upgrade Pittman to Devontae Adams, I'll say fine. But I don't think it's as big an upgrade as you might think it is.
Yeah, I kind of had a feeling. And another thing, one last thing. It's who should start. Should I start Mason or should I start Dobbins?
If Christian McCaffrey doesn't play, it's Mason. And if McCaffrey does play, it's Dobbins. So you're just kind of you're following Adam Schefter all Sunday.
Just to rebuttal back on the first thing I said. Since I said I traded McCaffrey away, another thing on McCaffrey was I was the 101, unfortunately, in both of my leagues.
Yeah.
I didn't feel like banking on McCaffrey on both of my leagues.
I totally get it.
Calf injuries linger throughout the whole season, and you know McCaffrey's injury right.
I was recommending people not take McCaffrey 1 overall, so I totally agree with you.
Yeah, and I didn't want to so bad, but I kind of fell victim to don't overthink it.
No, I got you. All right, Egu, I'm gonna let you go, bud.
Yeah, thanks, man. Yo, I just wanted some insider, like just some another opinion.
Of course, you have a great night, bud. Let's get to our next caller. Let's go to Tem. T-E-M. Let's go to Tem. Let's see what Tem wants to talk about. Tem, what's good?
You can hear me?
I can hear you.
How's it going, man?
How you living?
So, quick question for you. Ferguson, obviously, I have probably not going to play this week. I wasn't able to get Freiermuth or Likely, but I did pick up, Parkinson or Likely, but I have Freiermuth. What's your thought on that? And then do you have anyone that I can get from the waiver? And I can list out some of the guys that I feel like.
Man, Parkinson would have been the one that I would have wanted you to get. Unfortunately, he's gone. Freiermuth is probably the best you're going to get out of anybody else out there, but I don't feel great about that. If Taysom Hill was out there, I'd be willing to take a gamble on him this week over Freiermuth. The issue is, I think Ferguson is going to play. Reports are actually that freakish that he is. It sounds like he could play. I still wouldn't start him. I'd still sit him on the bench, but I just wish you had gotten Parkinson because that's the tight end I would have gone with.
Right. Okay. And then another question for you. Thoughts on Josh Jacobs moving on to...
I don't love him this week. To me, it's all about the quarterback. So if without Jordan Love, that offense becomes so different. Opposing defenses will load the box, they'll take away the run, and they'll force Malik Willis to beat him through the air. Right. So I just don't love Josh Jacobs until the quarterback's issue is solved. If they bring in Ryan Tannehill or if Malik Willis plays well, then all of a sudden I go, okay, I'll trust Josh Jacobs. But as of right now, I just feel like he's going to be the number one target for opposing defenses to take away. And I don't think he's going to have a great couple of weeks. So that's where I come out on it.
I got you. Okay. All right. Appreciate you, man.
All right, man. Have a good night. Hope you guys are loving the content in the show. Make sure you hit the follow button. Make sure you subscribe. Make sure you're a member of this community. Hit the follow button, everybody. Right now, all those watching, take one quick second. Hit the follow button. I'll wait for you. Okay, glad that you all just followed. Let's go to Dylan B. Let's see what Dylan wants to talk about. Dylan's next up on the line. What's up, Texas Tejano? Dylan, what's good?
What's going on, buddy?
How you living?
So, man, I'm kind of hurting. I got rejected on a few trades. Trying to pick up something to replace McCaffrey with for the time being. I know you said Montgomery is still kind of a good second. So I moved him out of my flex into my running back slot, and I moved Olave down to the flex slot, and put Kupp in his place, Cooper Kupp.
Yep.
I really don't have anybody else to pick up where McCaffrey left off, except for Jacobs. And I know you're saying Jacobs probably isn't going to have a very good show out because of the quarterback situation.
Yeah. So what's the question?
Do you think I should be okay with Montgomery for the time being?
Yes, I really like Montgomery. I think he's going to perform like a low-end RB1, a high-end RB2.
Okay, and then my last question for today is with Richardson playing Green Bay. Do you think he performs well again against Green Bay?
I think Green Bay's defense is a little bit better. I would start Richardson. If you've got him, I'd start him. There are very few quarterbacks I would start over him right now, but I don't think he'll have as good a game as he had last week.
Okay. The only reason I'm asking is because Baker Mayfield is still available in my waiver.
Yeah, I wouldn't overthink it, though. Like, the answer is Baker might have the better game this week, but frankly, if you got it Richardson, I'd probably ride with him because the rushing and passing yards, he's going to end up being a top 5 fantasy quarterback. I'm not someone who chases too much. Like, once I have a solid team, I could try to mix and match every week, but I'll probably make as many mistakes. I'll open up as many holes as I fill. So once I feel like I've got guys who I can rely on pretty consistently, I usually tend to ride with them.
Okay, cool. Well, I guess I'll ride with him this week and see how it goes.
All right, Dylan. We'll catch you later, and hopefully it goes well for you. Appreciate you guys being with us. Let's go to Colby. Colby's going to be next up. Colby was there and then dropped on us. So, Colby, sorry you were there and then missed you. Let's go to Harris. Harris is going to be next on the line. Let's see what Harris wants to talk about. Harris, what's good?
Oh, what's good, man? I'm not going to take long. I know you got a lot of people waiting.
Yeah, we have like 30 people waiting, so sorry if anyone who's waiting patiently.
Yeah, I was here for like an hour, but I think it's worth it, man. You get good advice all the time.
Thanks, Sam.
I drafted Joe Burrow as my QB1, and I'm going against a guy who has Tyreek Hill and Tua's in my waivers. Do you think I should start Tua?
I would play Tua, yeah.
All right, perfect, man. That's it for me.
Okay, bud. You have a great night. Let's get to our next caller. Our next caller is going to be Kyle B6. Kyle B6 is a subscriber. Want to definitely show love to our subscribers. Thanks, guys, for subscribing. Kyle, what's good? Kyle, you got to stay on TikTok, bud. You're off our screen, so you're muted. I can't hear you, buddy.
Oh, can you hear me?
I can now. You got to stay on TikTok, or otherwise you mute, but I can hear you now.
Got it. So I have a really odd question. You probably don't know if you get asked about a kicker much, but I'm in like a matchup this week that I really do think it's going to come down to which kicker performs better.
Sure.
And he's got Cleveland's, Cincinnati's kickers, and I've got Zerline, who gave me a walk with 1 point last week. So, but I've got people like Bass, the Rams kicker, Matt Gay, like there's kickers out there. I just don't know, like, am I overthinking it? Do I just stick with Zerline? Or do I go with, I think tonight could be a high-scoring game and I pick up Bass? Or does
Zerline kick for the Jets?
Yes.
I'm not crazy about Zerline, actually. I'm not crazy about him.
Yeah. So would you go after the Lions kicker or
Yes,
the Bills kicker?
yes. I love the Lions kicker. The kid from the Canadian Football League who then, like, the kid's got a huge leg. Here's the thing I like, okay? Zerline plays in New York. He plays in the Meadowlands. He's playing at least half of his season in a windy outdoor stadium with an offense that isn't like a sure thing. I know they've got talent, but the Jets are not a top 5 offense. One of the reasons I'm not crazy about him. On the other side, Bates, the kicker for the Lions, that's a top 5 offense. They play indoors. He's going to get a lot of opportunities outside of the fact that Mr. Bite Your Kneecaps over there loves going for it on 4th down. Other than that, I really like Bates, the kicker for the Lions. He'd be who I go for.
Okay, and then my second question to that, as I asked earlier in my flex, I've got Singletary, Demarcus Robinson, and Jacoby Myers, and you said
I'd go Singletary.
Is that a big gap, or is that just you think it's going to be pretty close between? I've got Stafford, and I like the double dip. I have Jordan Love. He got hurt, so I picked up Stafford.
See, this is you even make the argument for me. So in season-long fantasy, I don't like doing a stack because if it doesn't go right, you probably automatically lose the week. DFS is different. I'd rather go Singletary since you have Stafford playing already. You're already going to get his passing points. I wouldn't double up on it because I don't know. Robinson hasn't solidified himself yet, so you're stacking a solid play with a mystery. I don't feel good enough about it.
Awesome. Well, I appreciate it, and best of luck tonight, and have a great night.
Thanks for subscribing, Kyle. Talk to you soon.
See ya.
Let's get another caller up on the line. Colby, I'll give you another shot. Let's see if Colby's paying attention this time. Colby, what's good?
Yo, what's up?
How can I help you?
I got a question. So, I'm worried about Joe Burrow. So, should I start? Who should I start? Joe Burrow, Jared Goff, and...
Jared Goff. Jared Goff. Jared Goff.
All right. And who should I drop to pick up Jared Goff? Khalil Shakir or Hollywood Brown?
Hollywood Brown.
Okay. All right. That's all.
All right, man. You have a good night. Keeping the line moving. I like it. Giovanni's going to be next on the line. We're going rapid fire with the callers now. Ask your question quick. Giovanni, what's good?
Hey, what's up, man? You can hear me?
I can.
All right. Quick question. Should I trade in half-point PPR Amon-Ra St. Brown for Cooper Kupp and Brock Bowers?
No.
Okay. That's one of my questions. Second question. Are you worried about DK and McLaurin at all? Because I got them two in my flexes, and I'm a little bit weak on the running back side. Should I try and flip them for a running back?
Which one? Or either one?
DK and McLaurin, because I got both of them in my flexes.
I would flip one of them. I'm not quite sure which one I would flip. I feel like you could make an argument for each one depending on the week. But yeah, I probably would trade one of them because if you feel good enough about your wide receiver position, I think either one could give you a good enough return to make it worth the trade.
Okay, and who would you kind of target for one of them?
That I'm not going to answer. I don't do the open-ended questions because there's so many unknown variables. Who in the league has enough receivers to trade? Which league owners are going to be receptive to trades or not? So those kind of open-ended questions, I don't answer those anymore because it's kind of just a waste of time. But what I would say is you could get a good RB2 for one of them. Probably not an RB1. So think about guys who didn't go in round 1 of your draft, but guys who went in rounds 2, 3, 4. You could probably get one of those for McLaurin or for DK.
All right, man. Well, I appreciate it. Have a good night.
You too. Enjoy the game.
Yes, sir.
Let's get to our next caller. I used to catch fish, and now I bother Butt Fumble Sports with fantasy questions. No, I'm just playing. I used to catch fish is going to be next on the line. If the spinning wheel of death will allow. I used to catch fish. You might be in a bad sell zone. Try us again, okay, buddy? You're in a bad sell zone, so I couldn't quite get you. Let's go to Mark Gonzalez, MMA. Let's see what Mark wants to talk about tonight. Mark, what's good?
What up, man? How you doing?
Oh, I'm loving life. How can I help you?
Yeah,
try to make this as quick as possible. Let's see. All right. So right now at the flex, I have Keon Coleman, but I'm debating between him and Darnell Mooney.
I'd go Coleman.
Okay. Let's see. 1 second. All right. And then another question I had is pulling up a different fantasy.
Sure.
So I have Olave as my wide receiver 1, and I'm not really feeling the matchup. I'm wondering if Scary Terry would be a better.
Yeah, I prefer Terry McLaurin over Olave.
Okay. And then the last question I had, let's see, let's pull this one up. So I have Bijan, James Cook, and Connor.
I like that group.
Yeah, I do too. But I'm curious because I also have Brian Robinson and Aaron Jones.
Yeah, I would stick with what I got.
Stick with those 3?
Yep.
Okay. And then, so right now my tight end in that league is Mark Andrews, and I'm not really feeling the matchup with Jamar Chase, and I'm wondering if putting Zay Flowers would compromise me because I'm kind of loading heavy on that.
Yeah, you're overloaded on the Ravens. I'm not going to tell you your business. I probably wouldn't do it, but I understand if you're not feeling Jamar Chase, but that's you. I'd stick with Jamar Chase personally.
Okay. Because like I said, I wasn't feeling it, but I'm not enough to just pull the trigger and swap them out. So.
Yeah, I like Zay Flowers this week, but I don't want to be overloaded on the Ravens passing game. That's actually what's really keeping me from it. It's not that I like Chase more than Flowers. It's that I like Andrews enough, and I don't want to be overloaded on the Ravens passing game.
Okay. And then last one, I promise. Sorry. So I have Olave also in another league, but I have Rashid Shaheed on my bench, and I'm trying to figure out what to do with Shaheed. Would it be best to try to use last week's performance to trade him off before this week, or hold on to him? You know,
I certainly wouldn't keep both of them. I don't think you're ever going to play both of them in a given week. So I would trade one of them. Probably I would trade Shaheed, but if you had, because it doesn't sound like you've got a lot of depth at that position, because if you did, I would consider trading Olave because you could get the better return. But for the moment, it doesn't sound like you do, so I'd keep Olave and trade Shaheed.
Because that one's the one I have Darnell Mooney. I have.
Yeah, you don't have enough depth to be able to do that. You need Olave.
Yeah, I don't have enough to do that. Okay, cool.
All right, Mark.
That's all I had. I appreciate you, man.
See ya. Have a nice night. Let's get to our next caller. Let's go to whoever this is. They dropped. So good. I didn't know their name. Let's go to Sean. Sean's gonna be next on the line. Let's see what Sean wants to talk about. See Sean's spinning wheel of death. Let's see if we can get Sean on the line. Sean, we tried, buddy. We tried, but the spinning wheel won't get you on. Let's go to Ricardo Sanchez. Let's see Ricardo. Thanks, Dylan. Appreciate you, buddy. Ricardo, what's good?
Hey, a couple questions for you. I got Tua and rookie quarterback from Washington. Who would you start this week?
I would start Tua.
Okay, good. Couple more. I got Xavier Worthy. I got Xavier Worthy, Keenan Allen. Don't know which one really to start.
I'd go Xavier Worthy.
Good, all right. And I got Keenan Allen. Yeah, I think I'll just play him. Bench questions. I got Eckler. Do you think he's a running back I can afford to drop and look for better players, or is he somebody that we should keep
I would keep him for this week with the Giants. If he doesn't play well this week against the Giants, I would drop him because this is a week he should have value. I'm going to let you go, Ricardo, so we can get some other folks on the line, but I appreciate the question. Let's go to L. Andrews. Let's see what L. Andrews wants to talk about next on the line. Spinning Wheel of Death's having a tough time. We just had a helicopter fly like right by over here. It was pretty cool. I wanted to turn around my camera, but then you would see too much of my view, which I didn't want. Okay, L. Andrews, Spinning Wheel of Death's getting the better of you, so I'm not going to be able to get to you. Let's get to Brent. Let's see what Brent wants to talk about. Brent's a loyal viewer. Let's see what Brent wants to talk about. Our connection may be struggling a bit. Connection struggling a little bit, so I might end now. I think I'm going to end now because we're having some tough times. Sorry for the callers who didn't get on. Appreciate you guys staying with us. I'm sorry if I didn't get to you. We will do a subscriber-only show tonight. Butt Fumble Sports will do a subscriber-only show tonight. So make sure you subscribe. Make sure you join us later tonight for our subscriber-only show. We'll answer more of your questions. Hopefully, we got a lot of them answered, or hopefully we put you in a good position for this evening's game. Make sure you follow. Make sure you subscribe. Make sure you're with us every time that we're live. And again, a reminder for you guys, if you want all of my bets every single day, NFL, MLB, game pick, total play, player prop, if you want every bet I make every single day for free, DM me on Instagram, Butt Fumble Sports. I give away my picks for free every single day. DM me on Instagram. You'll get every pick I make. I never charge for them. They're never behind a paywall because I don't think that's how things should be done. You guys work hard for your money. You shouldn't be paying me for my picks. That's why I give them away for free. So just DM me on Instagram. You can follow them. You can fade them. That's entirely up to you. But if you want to follow, DM me on Instagram and I'll give away every single one of my picks every single day. I'm so grateful for you guys supporting the show. I'm so grateful for you guys taking time out to watch our content, engage with us. Obviously, we hope we give you the best advice possible and guide you to a win. Make sure you follow. Make sure you subscribe. Make sure you join us for our subscriber-only show later tonight. It will be a very late show because of the game, so it might be closer to 11 rather than 10. Just a warning for you guys out there. Hope to see you guys there. Make sure you subscribe on TikTok if you want to join us then. And if you don't want to subscribe on TikTok, I'll see you guys at 4:30 tomorrow afternoon. That's 4:30 p.m. Eastern Time, Friday afternoon. That'll be the next show we do for everybody. Until then, hope you have a great night. Stay healthy, stay safe. We'll catch you later. Enjoy the game. Bye, everybody.